For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome to episode 80 of That's a Shame. I'm Isaac, and joining us for this very special, very milestone heavy episode this week, it's Declan.
That's me.
How are you doing?
I'm very well. There was a moment there during your intro where you closed your eyes and I'll be honest, I wasn't sure whether you were going to bother opening them again.
Okay, that was it for me.
Didn't know whether that was just the end.
I was just going to, What about when people get older and there comes a point in your life around the age of about 76 where they seem, some people at least, to stop thinking that you have to open your eyes in conversation. And so they'll start and they'll take, it's normally like when they're nodding. If you ask a question to an older person, they'll yes. And then that's, once they've closed them, half an hour goes by, get hit by multiple cars.
My granddad's taken it one further. He just goes to sleep.
Wow.
Mid-sentence, yours or his, doesn't matter.
That's clever, isn't it? Because then you get out of the conversation anyway.
Exactly.
And you teleport into the next day.
My parents went round because he's slowly kind of going the same way as my nan, kind of losing it. But my step-nan, as it were, was going out for the day. She was treated, it was like a Christmas present. So she was going uptown and she'd asked if, the various the various sons and daughters could look after him. And so they'd said, yeah, that's fine. So my parents were on the first shift and my mum's brother, one of my mum's brothers was second. So mum and dad went round and they were there and they were having a chat and it all seemed fine. And they were doing a crossword together and he was really on the ball. He was getting answers they had no idea about. He asked about cigarettes. He was like, I don't seem to have any cigarettes or something. So mum and dad were like, okay, so they're going to go and get some of them. They rang up his wife and were like, has he got any cigarettes? And she was like, there's some hidden away, but I don't like to get them, because I don't like giving them to him. And mum and dad went to go and get him some. And then they'd already rung my uncle and said, could you bring some round? And then my mum went, apparently you've got some, they're just by the side of your chair. And he sort of looked down and went, oh, so I have. And then he went, well, got loads now, haven't I?
Wow, he's got 70 packs.
So they looked after him for the hour and it had a nice chat and whatnot. My uncle turned up. They said their goodbyes. They headed off and they were on their way home. And they got a text from my uncle saying, yep. Dad says that he's thinks it's a bit rude you didn't turn up today.
Oh, no. Oh, that is rude.
Fuck's sake.
Dear me. I like that that's his go-to. There's an interesting tendency of people. It's very exemplified when people are getting older and starting to lose their memory, that you see how quickly everything isn't your fault.
Yeah.
If, with my grandma, she's not really heading anywhere further than just no short-term memory at all.
Yeah.
And also, she doesn't really care about it anyway. So even when she had a good memory, she didn't really bother to use it
She
very
didn't
much.
appreciate it.
No, exactly. And the Lord came swooping
And he went,
in.
well, there we go, here we go.
And there's some upsides to it. She can watch the same Agatha Christie
That
over
is
and
good,
over
isn't
again.
it? My nan used to read the same Danielle Steele every day. Toxic Bachelors, it was called.
Great.
She used to
Toxic Bachelors.
Yeah, she used to read it every day. We used to kind of laugh about it. And then I think it was my mum maybe happened to read it. She'd been my nan had been reading the same book for 3 years. My mum decided to read it. She said it was absolute filth.
Oh, really?
She said it was smut
Really smutty?
smut from cover to cover.
Wow.
She's like, no wonder she's fucking reading it every day of her life.
Bloody hell. Toxic Bachelors sounds like a robot made up the title.
It does, doesn't it?
It would be a great, if niche, one application for those neural networks to write that kind of Danielle Steele, Mills and Boon.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
it'd be
it's
easy
so
as hell.
formulaic anyway. They're basically
all their
outsourced.
books are the same.
Yeah.
So
They must just have a big spreadsheet of adjectives and different words you can use instead of cock.
Definitely.
Remember.
It's like that great David Foster Wallace essay about the
Different words for cock.
Yeah, that's the one.
God, he was really losing it towards the end.
Consider the lobster, different words for cock. About the 1998 American Adult Video Network Awards.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a really interesting article because it was initially written for a magazine. It wasn't going to be published under his name. And it was supposed to be written by a group of people. So he writes the whole thing saying your correspondence, as if it's like a group written article, but really it was just him
Filthy
and a photographer.
liar.
I know. But he's going around and he's talking to these porn journalists, basically, people who review porn.
Wow, is that a job that is?
Yeah.
Mental.
I know. And
That must be bleak.
one of them's called, what's his name? Something like Herbert Hecuba.
Okay.
And the other one's called Dick Filth.
Oh,
They like very freely admit in their first conversation with them that 90% of their job is coming up with new names for semen.
Oh.
Just new ways to just get it out there without anyone really kicking up a fuss.
That's such a shame. Think of like where their life diverged down that path. Like they could have been a great zoologist introducing a new age for like animal care.
Yeah.
But instead he's called Dick Filth.
There's an amazing kind of footnote where he describes this story as told by Mr. Hecuba about a time that he was attacked by one of the porn stars at this convention. And he was attacked because he'd reviewed her most recent release, let's say.
Performance.
Yes. And they happened to be at the same party, and she came at him because in his review he had written the sentence. And the greatest thing about this is I read this essay in one of the books of his that I have, and you kind of hear it in his dulcet tones. But I've discovered there's a recording of him reading on YouTube, and you get to hear him say it. But yes, his review included the line, no one's sure whether she'll win any beauty awards, but she sure can suck cock.
Oh.
And thought that he could just get away with
just chuck
this.
that in.
Yeah, just threw that in.
Imagine if like Michael Billington was reviewing the latest National Theatre out.
That's Zoe Wanamaker. No one's sure how pretty she is, but...
Dear me. Well, look, all of that is
Prelude.
really set up to what I've been preparing for goodness knows how long.
Goodness knows
the
how
less
many
time we
minutes.
spend talking about how long, the more time we can get into the content.
Exactly, yes.
And we don't need to dwell in like preparedness as a concept and like who's brought more to the
No,
table.
exactly. Well, you wouldn't want to be embarrassed.
We wouldn't want you to be embarrassed either.
No, I just said
because
that.
we don't want either
You
of
can't
us
even prepare your own
to have a
insults.
battle
That's a shame,
about
isn't it?
That's the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there we go, yeah.
Would you rather?
Yep.
First one was well received.
It
by
was,
me.
wasn't it? Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
We both messaged one another saying we really
was fun.
enjoyed that one.
I like these questions.
And just because people didn't get in touch to say the same, surely doesn't mean they didn't think so.
No, because-
perhaps they were so absorbed by the episode that they
probably-
didn't have time.
I imagine if we could like smash cut to 10 listeners at random now, they're all just pushing people over and expecting money.
Yeah. Oh goodness me.
They're just pushing and then holding their hands up to their
they've
heads.
just committed their lives to Facebook.
Oh yeah, $50 an hour. Good on you. So I've collected some more,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess we'll see. I think the format should be just kind of blast through until we find one that we want to latch onto.
Okay.
Because we don't want to force content. We're not in the business of
Goodness
trying.
me! Look,
We're in
I
the
don't
business
even
of-
want you to bring that up. Like I'm offended that you would
sully
even
the tone.
feel the need to defend us against
Because
such
that
an
would be a very
accusation.
different and worse show, wouldn't it? If we put effort into things like, I was reading one of our podcast groups. People were like, they did that thread again of like, how long do you spend per episode?
Oh yeah.
So the last time that we talked about this, it was something outlandish, like about 12 hours per episode on like coming up with research and doing stuff. Today, the one that I saw was it takes us about 3 to 4 months to prepare a series of episodes. So I was like, okay, well that's like maybe they're going out to do some research. It turned out when I clicked their name through to their page, it was a 3-episode, half an hour each series on different fast food restaurants in Florida, and it takes them 4 months to prepare the reviews. Maybe it's just the most thorough. Like they need the exact mean of the what
They're
burgers are
walking
like.
between them, and they are on different ends of the state.
Maybe, but it must just be like they're doing so much eating research to get you know how the Michelin guide, they have to go to the same place over and over again to be like consistency. I guess he's just he's hitting up the McDonald's on the day.
If we spent, even if we go with the first time we looked at this thread, if we spent 12 hours
on an episode,
well, we wouldn't. We literally couldn't.
We'd have to script everything we said.
Yeah, we spend, the hour doing it. If there were any more than that, it would just be part of the episode.
Yeah.
So if we spent 12 hours, we'd have 14, 15, maybe 24 episodes.
We should try to do a completely scripted episode one day and see if people notice. Try and make it as exactly off the cuff sounding as it would
basically be one of our scripts anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Except lots more effort. Would you rather sweat broccoli and cheddar soup, or, so that's not an appealing first option, is it?
Sorry, can I just clarify already? It's broccoli and cheddar soup, or broccoli and cheddar soup. Because if I'm having to push physical, solid broccoli out of my skin,
you're out
I can't conceive of much that I would...
What if it was... They haven't specified, but I'm going to assume the and applies to broccoli and cheddar.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, then I'm picturing just the green florets, with Play-Doh and the hydraulic press.
Yeah.
So they'd be coming an individual little tiny bit per bowl.
Right. Okay.
Does that appeal to you at all?
Well, no, not really any more than what I imagined.
Right. That's weird, because I thought that would solve most of your problems with that.
No, it hasn't really addressed any of them.
Because think about it, because it would be very well lubricated florets because of all the cheddar soup, which is famously not too viscous.
Well, this doesn't even specify if it's at the same time.
It is.
Oh, you've decided that.
Yeah.
You posted this one.
Yeah.
What's the or?
Or every movie that you watch slowly transitions into Shrek halfway through.
Well, obviously the second one.
You would kill yourself after 3 films.
No, I wouldn't.
100%.
I wouldn't.
You're going to sit down and every film you ever liked is ruined.
Yeah, but I could deal with that.
You couldn't.
I could, more than sweating soup.
Let me expand the scope then, because this is where I come in what has frustrated some of my friends as not playing the game fairly, but what I see as the ultimate point of the game is finding the cutoff, it's the parameters.
Right, okay.
I'm expanding movies to all media. All visual media.
That's the cutoff point.
Let's start with all visual media. So film, TV. Games. Every game you start. Skyrim.
Does it become the film, or does it become a playable version?
It becomes a version in the style of the game itself. So if, say you're playing Skyrim, you're like, oh, it's great being this dragonborn, and you're going around slaying dragons.
Suddenly I'm an ogre, I've got to pick up different swamp juice to make various different potions.
That. I was thinking that you just happen into the Shrek world. You go on a quest and you turn a corner where it's all snowy, and then all of a sudden, fuck, this giant gingerbread man. And then you're in the Shrek world, and you're just kind of... I don't know that you'd have that much of a place within it, because you're basically from a different...
different
sphere.
That's reasonable.
So maybe you can ingratiate yourself with them, but that's going to be hours of grinding right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Ultimately, I guess it's added to the Skyrim experience for you, and you've got a unique story to tell that no one would believe. And if you're a reviewer, that too would go down poorly.
What I'm interested in, though, is that the question, correct me if I'm wrong.
I will.
Said gradually turns into.
I added that partly because what they said is they said every movie you watch slowly become Shrek halfway.
Okay.
So I fixed the grammar.
So it's still slowly become. It's not that you're watching and suddenly it's Shrek.
Yeah.
So what I like the idea of is that actually, whilst you're right, it's infuriating in a sense that every film no longer has its actual conclusion. But what I'd be interested in is seeing how it transitions. Is it a kind of subliminal thing? Is it that the scenes intercut, or is it that the animation style changes? Is it that, I'll be watching Glengarry Glen Ross and suddenly instead of Blake, Horatio Blake.
Off of Alec Baldwin.
That's it. Yeah. Instead of him, it's Farquaad.
Oh.
And he's giving... But it's a live action Farquaad.
And he'd look horrific.
Well, yeah, he would.
His head's bigger than his whole everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
I'm not saying it's nice.
No, but the character
isn't.
It's not nice.
And he's giving that, and you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of like
that bit.
No, and then and then a bit later on, the policeman, whatever his name was,
who gives a fuck?
He comes out, and that's Shrek, and he's like, "Get in the office."
You fucking want me in the office, you fucking Shrek-looking dick, said Al Pacino.
You know, and then suddenly, like by some point, it just the whole thing devolves. Is you know, they turn around and it's in a castle, but nobody reacts. Is it like in a dream where the setting or the character or something can change and you don't really notice or make a big deal of it? You just kind of keep going.
I think for me, it would have to be even more subtle than that, because if you've
I would know. Yeah, of course.
But so if you've chosen, I think the film has to be constructed so as to surprise even you every time. So it would have to like dynamically react like that playtest Black Mirror episode to what you were expecting. And so I think, you know, those tests of attention where it's like, count how many passes they do.
Yeah.
And then a big monkey walks across and is like, and then fucks off.
Or the ones about, there's ones that they have about, you know, the blind spots when you're looking, when you like move, and they can change things.
Yeah.
Where how you can be looking at an image, and as you look round the image, things change while you're moving.
You can't keep track.
And then
of
the next
things.
image, the final image is completely different. You've no idea.
So I think rather than it being like whole characters initially, I think it may be that there is like if we imagine a spectrum between Al Pacino and let's say Donkey. Eddie Izzard's not Eddie Izzard, although that'd be amazing. Eddie Izzard's donkey. That'd be fucking great.
Eddie Izzard's Roma.
Yeah, also good. If they're on like a continuum, there must be a small enough amount they could, in the 90 minutes of the film, if they did like 0.4% closer every time, that you would never be able to pinpoint like this is the moment where he's Donkey.
No, but there would
if
be
you
a
left
point
the room
where
and came
you
back.
realised it was Donkey.
Yeah, but by then it's too late. I don't know what it's too late for.
When you say like changing, what do you mean? Do you mean in mannerism or appearance? Because
Yes, all of it.
I feel like if Al Pacino walked in and he just had donkey ears, you'd already be like, that something's different.
But then that would have to be like one time it cuts to him and his ears are just a tiny bit bigger, and that just keeps adding, like the letterbox that killed all the basketball
like
players.
when is it a pile of sand?
Yeah,
kind of thing.
so they would just have to very subtly increase. Or I guess it could be that they sow lots of the seeds. This could be more fun, actually. Maybe it's all normal up to like minute 42 or something, and you've just been watching and you haven't noticed anything on, but actually they've been sowing a lot of like Shrek-based imagery into it. So maybe out of the window over one of the characters' shoulders, you see like the dragon fly past very briefly, just to kind of tell your subconscious that
Get you in
it's
the zone.
time, like it's happening again. And then all of a sudden, maybe the trick is that they like catch you out at a certain moment. So they'll be like, they'll just cut outside or something, and it's just gone full Shrek 100% of the time. And because you didn't see it coming, then the jerkiness of that transition is what gets you.
What about if we go a slightly different direction, and it's that the first thing that changes is not the actual characters or the content or the visuals, but the plot that actually, you know, we start out as Glengarry Glen Ross. It starts, Blake comes
And then
in,
he's
a
just
big
a
thing.
fucking ogre.
Yeah, that's basically
How are they going to
it.
sew
You
that in, man?
You know, they go to Moss and Arano, and they're, you know, having their chat, and you come back and Shelley Levine's bent over a table, Shrek's fucking him into the next one. No, but like things are just kind of like just turning that little way.
There's a little tone or
and, you know, Roma obviously is the Farquaad character. He's like the small, powerful, but, you know, an arsehole kind of character. I'm not saying that just because you played him. No, but, or aspire
Very
to
well
him.
as well.
Yeah, very well received.
The reviews liked it, didn't they?
Well, not necessarily well received, but well reviewed.
Yeah.
By the one
Audiences
review.
walked
By
out.
the one review.
They said I didn't.
I left, and I was both in it, in a very, what was it, bold
decision, yeah.
No, so, you know, Roma is the kind of the Farquaad character, so suddenly there's an element introduced in which he is lusting after one of the other characters, and
Moss.
he has to kind of, and instead of, you know, he's sending Shrek on a journey to fight the dragon and get this, he's sending, like, Levine to go and like pass him a message or something.
Okay.
And it slowly tends that way, because I like the idea that all of these films tend to a point where they get to that bit where they're at the church in Shrek, and Shrek's like, oh God, like, what do I do? You know, oh, maybe I shouldn't bother. And then Donkey has him up against the doors to the church, and he just bursts in with a song. He's like, you want to hold her? Yeah. Please her? Yeah. Then you got to try a little tenderness.
Wow, I don't remember this.
And I'm thinking,
That would be
and I think that's
key
the bit
moment.
where, and you get Al Pacino to do that,
Mm-hmm.
maybe at this point with some like fake hooves on.
That would be very interesting to
And
see.
then as soon as he says that, before Donkey says chicks dig that romantic crap, bang, we're just in Shrek. It just goes full
so it's
frontal.
just like smash cut to
Yeah,
Shrek.
it's like when's this moment coming in?
Yeah, I can see that. So it would be, the effect it would have is like those, did you ever see that video that went viral for a bit where it was like, I can't remember which actor it was. Basically, there was a group of friends who hate someone like Kevin Spacey.
Right.
In fact, I think it might have been exactly Kevin Spacey.
Right.
And one of them would always try and make them all watch films in which he appears in like the third act. And they'd be like halfway through. I think they watched 7 or something.
Oh yeah.
And like, it's all fine, and then all of a sudden they just walks in and they're like, oh, like
God
they've got him
damn
again.
it.
So it's that quality of like
Right.
Shrek creeping up on you, and it's not there until it is. So it's less of a smooth transition and more of a like the seeds have been sown and then bang,
Yeah.
and that's how it catches you.
Yeah.
Surely it would ruin every film, game.
It would.
Even imagine like short things, like you couldn't even watch like a Vine. I mean, I know Vine's a dead format, but like a 10-second Instagram video.
Before you get to the punchline.
Yeah,
it's
like it would
Shrek.
just fucking ruin everything.
It would ruin everything.
You would go
But
mad.
there are 2 things that I need to consider here. One is that there is a part of me that would still find that quite funny.
Forever?
No, not forever, but there would at
Every
least
so
be. But the thing is, I know that I would just eschew all that media for a while.
Right.
I'd just fucking like read or something.
I've got bad news
Yeah,
for
I
you.
know what the next level is. But then I'd come back and someone would be like, "Oh, you got to watch this video of PMQs."
Oh, it's crazy. Corbyn gets a right banger.
and I'd forget. And for a
Theresa May, you're a fucking green ghost. That's not Shrek.
What fucking film have you? Thinking of Ghostbusters, Scottish Ghostbusters. But I'd forget and I'd watch it, and there'd be a real back and forth, and then just all of a sudden it would be Shrek, and I go,
Somebody once told me the world.
fuck's sake. But also, I don't want to sweat soup.
I realised that, and I'm on board as well. I don't want to sweat soup, but
Okay, well, here's the thing. Do you want? You don't sweat because you're a kind of robot,
Robo boy,
right?
Yeah.
I sweat a lot, right? I'm a big,
so you're asking
hairy guy.
if I'd rather live with someone who sweats or Shreks.
No, I don't care about you.
Oh, really? You don't care about those around you because everyone's going to abandon you either way.
No, but this is the thing, right? So, that's an interesting secondary part of the question that I want to come to.
Come back to it.
But
put a pin in.
But here's the thing: as someone who sweats a lot, the difference the difference in the question here is: do I want moments where my films or my art or my medium is ruined, or do I want my pure existence to be ruined?
I don't know though. Isn't there? I don't know a lot about
Sweating.
the science of sweat,
Right.
if you can call it that. Wouldn't it be like? Is there some minimal level of activity you could maintain where you just don't?
No, not for me. Certainly not for me.
Oh,
I sweat.
I swear there's a thing you can do to have like your sweat glands removed.
Yes, but then you can't regulate your temperature.
Go for
And as a
it.
ginger person, that is going to fuck
important to
me
you.
anyway, because I can't do that at the kind of barest minimum.
But I think you could go
and
to the
that's
cinema.
why I sweat so much.
You'd go to the cinema with like a bucket of ice that you can dip in at any moment that you're like overheating, and you'd be able to enjoy the marvels of
And my bucket of ice
movies.
is going to smell of cheese soup
No,
and
because
broccoli.
all your glands have been scraped off like a fish being descaled. I'm sure that's how it works.
A, that's so wrong. And B, no, because these operations don't get the whole body. They're about
Not yet.
specific areas.
If you had the need, though, I'm sure you'd be able to find a doctor willing to experiment in this regard because it's going to be
That's
the
how
future.
I get human centipeded.
Is that how that set up? That was a hell of an
exactly.
act one. Took a lot.
The guy
of
who sweat
buying.
broccoli and then bam, he's eating someone's shit.
Oh.
No, the secondary part of the question, because I mean, this at this point it is just how little am I going to enjoy
Yeah.
art is essentially what it is.
Yeah.
is two things. One, you said it applies to all visual media.
Painting.
But that's what I was coming on to, paintings. Am I going to look at the top of the Mona Lisa, by the time I get to the bottom, it's
She's got
donkey.
She's got Puss in Boots shoes on.
Yeah, exactly. She's holding
And then when you scan back up, it just is
Yeah,
Puss in
exactly.
That'd be cool.
Is that the kind of horror that I've got?
That sounds to me better than
so that's
galleries.
one. And the other thing is it if I'm watching it, it happens for everyone, or is it just for me? Like if we sat down to watch a film, would we be watching it and then suddenly it's Shrek for both of us, and you go, oh, for fuck's sake, fuck off, so I can watch the end? Or are you watching the end and I have to sit here going, so what's going on?
No, you have to pretend that you're like, God, what about that bit at the end? Yeah. Fuck,
God,
I saw that dragon
mental.
fucking a donkey. Declan, this was Schindler's List.
Yeah, but that's why it was
Even
so
less
shocking,
expected.
because they were in colour.
Yeah, I like there's upsides from the point of the trickster god, coyote god on both of those.
Yeah.
Because it would kind of be sadder for you to be causing it for everyone, because then you would just be excluded from society.
Yeah.
In a big way. Like you would be banned from so many
Mark
places.
playing the Batman and I'm just in the room and all of a sudden Batman just wanders into the swamp.
Oh dear. It would be such a like, we'd be so used to it, they'd just be like, oh, fuck off, Declan. But you've got to think like you'd be banned from all theatres, all like art galleries.
That would be quite fun though, wouldn't it? To like just go to the premiere of films.
Of Shrek 4. And it goes back to Shrek
It's
1.
Go to the Infinity War premiere.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh my God, who's going to die?
Oh my God,
what's
Thanos.
Captain America? Hang on a minute. Very much seems like the end of Shrek.
Did Iron Man just say he's got layers? Because I can only see two, and one of them's iron. The other is man.
Wow, all these people fighting for the Infinity Stones of Duloc.
Yeah, so I guess there would be a fun part for you there, although it would be bittersweet, wouldn't it? Because you'd probably want to see what happened as well to Captain Spider.
But I suppose I would take the angle that if I'm not seeing it, nobody is.
Yeah, so it's like a kind of visual
Pettiness,
terrorism.
you're right. Visual terrorism is
That's what you
different
call it.
from what I described as pettiness.
Look, I think bigger. I've got a whole scheme. So there's that, or I think let's go with that one.
Me going along to D-Bar for like the election night results, and just halfway through, Dimbleby sprouts these big like funnel ears on his head.
Turns into a big gingerbread man.
Yeah.
The giant one, I bet. What about like football matches and stuff? You wouldn't be able to go and see those.
Would I? No, but surely I would go and see them live.
No, counts as a performance.
What do you mean?
It's a visual performance.
But it's not. How is it turning into Shrek?
That's for you to find out. Okay.
So, well, hang on a minute, because this feels like I actually have some kind of genuine superpower that I can actually turn like Marko Arnautovic into a dragon.
Well, okay. Yeah, but you could, but he's also going to stop caring about football in the slightest, because that's not...
But that's it. He's a dragon now.
No, but only for the temporary period that you're there.
No.
Oh, right, you've added that. So once you watch a film, it's forever Shreked.
Yeah.
You've Shreked it for everyone.
Yeah.
That's what people are going to call it.
It's like
should we watch How to Train Your Dragon?
That's been Shrek for me.
Declan's fucking Shreked it up, mate.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. I think you should just sweat broccoli and get the fuck over
I'm
yourself.
not doing it. Ask me another fucking question.
Okay, well, here you go. You think you've got that one down to a T. How about this? Would you rather be named Will, but it's short for Willip, or be named Nate, but it's short for Natelin?
Willip or Natelin?
Yeah, Willip or Natelin. No, but you are called Will or Nate, but you are...
Willip.
You have to be aware that it's short.
Willip.
Why Willip?
Because I don't want to be called Nate.
Right, okay.
That's it. That's the end of that one.
I suppose you've solved that one, because it is the worst.
You don't want to be called Nate, do you?
But how you
Sorry to any listeners called Nate, but... Well,
not the best.
But the point is that Lip versus Lynn is such a minimal aspect of this. It's what I want to be known as, Nate or Will.
I think people are going to take the piss out of Willip a lot, though.
But they take the piss out of Natelin.
Yeah, but you could
Because it
just
sounds
kill
like
yourself.
Caitlin. I could do that, you're right. I could do that with either name. Or if I
you're
was Sweat
Shrekking.
Broccoli.
Okay, here you go. Would you rather be able to hold bananas in your hands, which you can do
that
already? That's another one.
Wow.
So, hold bananas in your hands like guns, and whenever you say pew pew, they shoot lasers. Or you can throw oranges and have them act like target-seeking missiles. Now, there's an easy choice for me, I think, on the whole. But I'm interested to see.
At the end,
which
I'd be
I think's
interested to
more
hear what
applicable.
your choice is. I've got some questions about these lasers though first. What do they do?
What
Are
don't
they
you
like
do?
are they like real life lasers where it's a bit of light? So I go pew pew and it goes boom, and never is seen again.
Yeah.
And that's it. Or is it like laser guns in sci-fi?
Okay, well, stick with me
Because
here.
because if it's the former,
Yeah.
definitely the oranges.
Okay. Well, you haven't asked what the oranges do either, though.
Don't
We'll
need to
come
know.
to it. We'll
Don't
come
need
to
to know.
I'll tell you what the lasers do. If humans have 100 hit points in their life,
Right.
and like they regenerate over time, like if you break your arm, you've lost maybe 15, 20, and they'll come back over the period of your arm regrowing. I'm going to say that the lasers will take away 2 hit points each. So it's a bit like, I don't
So
know,
I'd have to hit someone 50 times in one go.
to kill them. But you probably wouldn't want to be doing that because you don't kill people anyway in your daily life. So I don't
But
know
if I
why.
had this ability, you might as well use it.
Banana boy going around shooting at
Because you would be the world's greatest assassin.
You'd not. What if you tried to kill anyone where bananas aren't, which is loads
You
of
just
places?
have one with you.
Yeah, I guess. But what if you
That's
get
it.
hungry on the way?
I thought I had a spare.
Okay, so that's what they do. The oranges.
So hang on a minute. So the question there is, so if you tell me what the oranges are, go for that first.
Whereas the lasers do 2 points of damage, the oranges actually do no damage, but they do move very quickly and they are still an orange. So they do as much damage as being hit. Like if I just lobbed an orange at you from this distance about
That's
4
likely
feet.
to do more than 2 points of damage.
I don't know about that. They're a soft fruit.
People really underestimate this.
What,
I said
the
this.
speed of an orange?
I said this to Mark the other day.
When
right?
you're chucking fruit
Yeah,
at him. So Mark, you
I went. I was getting a plate out of the cupboard. I went. You could kill someone with a plate.
Oh yeah, I'm on board with that.
You like so easily.
Don't go saying plates are the oranges of the
No,
fucking
I'm not.
cupboard.
But he was like, I don't think about kill, and I was like, just kill them. And I went, and I just
why I haven't
put the plate half a centimetre from his head.
Yeah.
And just flicks my wrist.
Yeah.
And he was like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, boy, yeah, it's a fucking ceramic disc.
Yeah.
And
there's the shiv potential as well.
and I think if I threw an orange at your face,
Yeah.
full
I
speed,
don't think it's going to kill me.
it's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
But
I'll
it will
have
do
orange
more
in my
than
eye.
2 points of damage to you.
I don't know about that. We need to
I
clarify
could
2
easily
points of
break your
damage.
nose with an orange.
Yeah, I'm not saying you couldn't. And I think there's definitely damage scope. But let's get
And also,
2 points of damage.
I'm never going to miss.
That's true.
So if I got 5 oranges and lobbed them at your face and they were guaranteed to hit every time perfectly, you don't think that would harm you?
I hadn't thought about the firing loads at once thing.
I go
That'd be
1,
quite
2,
good.
3, 4, 5. You think you're all right, do you?
Matilda and
Well,
the
let's get some fucking oranges, shall we? Let's try it out.
Okay, well, how about I revise the lasers to be 5 points of damage?
Because that's what I was going to say. But what this comes down to is, at what point do the lasers
It's
do
also
more damage?
basically if you
and also in terms of the oranges, what's the range?
100 meters. No, visible range. If you can see them when you throw it and there's nothing in between you. That's
So
it.
if I stood at the top of this hill,
Yeah.
and if I stood on top of the
see
building,
someone from,
and I could see the London Eye,
Ian Hislop.
because from the QE2 bridge,
Yeah.
I can see Canary Wharf.
Can you make eye contact with someone in Canary Wharf though? That's the downside.
You didn't ask if I could make eye contact
Can
with them.
you see a single person and be like, that's my target?
No.
No, well, that's the thing. You have to be able to see them.
See what?
See
Who said
them.
I'm throwing it at people?
See the single person that you're aiming at.
But I'm not aiming at a single person. What if
What
I'm
are you
aiming at the
aiming
building?
Oh, no, it doesn't work like that. Can't aim it at buildings.
Why not?
Because it's attracted to the heat signature of people.
And you don't think a building could be hot?
No, famously cold.
Like that building that melted people.
Yeah, that one wasn't, no.
I realised I didn't explain that very well. What I meant
like
was
Stephen
the
King.
building that melted some cars.
Oh, yeah, the walkie-talkie
The
one.
walkie-talkie building.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can only aim at people, can I aim at animals?
No.
Factories?
Factories?
Yeah.
No, there are buildings.
But they're hot.
Yeah, look, don't worry about heat. It's a person
You
specific.
literally just said it was heat
I was
seeking.
using heat idiomatically to refer to the special magnetism of humanity.
So I can only aim at people.
Yeah.
And I have to be able to see that person. How well?
You have to be, like, able to describe them in about 5 adjectives in your head.
What do you mean?
Like-
Small, distant, blurry,
In range.
walking,
Soon to be oranged.
mortal.
Yeah. No, I think you just have to be able to get a clear vision. Look, I'm not about this Aragon-esque world building of magic bullshit. So let's just leave
That's
it
the
at...
whole thing you're about.
I'm not. You've misunderstood, but here's something for the lasers. They are... you can't aim them at people. They, in fact, will not... The bananas will, like, tilt away if you try and aim them at people. But the lasers will bounce off surfaces, so you can hit people if you can, like, bounce the shot in.
I'll go for the oranges.
Oh, but think about it. You could, like, if you're in a busy room, you could just, like, pew, pew, pew at the walls, and it would just be bouncing everywhere.
I'm going for the oranges.
Okay, well, that's your loss. I'll take the bananas.
Go for it.
In the spirit
Take your
of-
fucking 2 hit point bananas.
For our final one, and in the spirit of this pew pew element, which I don't think we lent into enough, because you didn't have to say anything when you did the orange.
That's part of the reason.
Yeah, and I think a better question would have forced you to be like, orange away!
Orange!
When you throw them. For each one as well.
Yeah.
How about this then? Would you rather be forced to say "m'lady" every time you address a woman, or yell "I'm an atheist" as loud as possible anytime someone says "bless you"? But I'm going to already change that second one to be
knew what you were going to
anytime anyone mentions God of any kind.
And
when I say shout, I mean we cannot repeat the volume on this podcast because the microphone will be gone.
So I go over the other side of the room and...
You go up to Orange Throne Hill and shout your lungs out.
I mean, I know that you're trying to make it a difficult one with that second thing, but it would definitely be the second.
What,
There's
I'm an atheist?
There's no sense in which I would ever say "m'lady" in the dressing room. Because the whole point then is that during any kind of intimate or sexual encounter, you have to be silent. And that is creepy. But still somehow just about better than going, "m'lady." Like, because, you know, let's say, you know, the unthinkable happens.
Okay,
right?
go on.
My girlfriend leaves.
Yeah.
That's it. She's gone.
And you have to try and, like,
I'm
forge
back
a
on
new
the Tinder
connection.
scene.
Yeah.
So just already, do I have to type it?
Of course. Yeah.
I thought so, right.
M apostrophe lady as well.
Oh, well, yeah, no,
Yeah,
there's
just
no
to
other way,
clarify.
yeah. So already I'm not getting any dates that way.
I think you could build a comedy persona around my lady in text only.
wrong.
You could could be satirizing the nice guy.
You've
fedorable.
You've not
phenomenon.
used Tinder.
No, I've never used Tinder.
So right, so
But I
I
know that I would be exceptionally good at it.
he wouldn't
M'lady
he, would-
or
he would-
otherwise.
he wouldn't because he doesn't swipe right for anyone.
Oh yeah, that is a downside.
Using Tinder with Isaac is the world's most boring experience of all time.
Boring
because
experience of standards.
because he goes, no.
That's why I don't like it, because it encourages this very unpleasant market
Acceptance
view
of what? Anything other than perfection.
Yeah, it's dreadful, isn't it? Imagine being burdened with that. God, life's hard for me. So
already, like, that's an avenue cut off. But you couldn't even go up to someone in a bar and be like, "Would you like a drink?" Or, you know, "Oh,
what if you're like,
can I
would
get
you like a drink? Lady? Sorry, what was that last bit?
Well,
Just, would
because
you like
I
a drink?
already have presumed that you would deny me the ability to hide it.
You can try it out. See.
Well, I'm not going to.
Ask me if you're allowed to.
Wow, I wonder if I'll do that. I'm going to go ahead and assume that you won't.
I'm
allow
actually
that.
I'm actually willing to allow you the chance to disguise it. You
How?
have to
How
vocalize it, but you.
How much do I have to vocalize it? Give me for the podcast audience. How much do I have to?
I'll give you an example. So you can say, "Oh, it's lovely to meet you. Can I get you a
swish my
drink,
head.
my lady?" That much.
No, that's worse than saying it out loud.
I know. That's why I allowed you.
You really do have wonderful eyes.
Sorry, I have wonderful.
Eyes.
Oh,
You sound like You sound like a really creepy Parker from Thunderbirds. Yes,
What about if you're...
milady.
You could be like, oh, this is such a good evening we're having, milady. Like, look away and throw it over your shoulder.
Right, and you think that you could do that every time you spoke to a woman and her not wonder what the fuck you're doing.
All I'm saying is, if you were charismatic enough in what you were saying before the milady, I think it could balance out.
No, the only way that you can get away with it is if you fully commit to the miladies, but
Pretend you're from the past.
You disguise it as Tourette's. You go, sorry, could I buy you a drink? Milady! Sorry. Milady!
You're
sorry,
right.
I didn't...
That is good.
can I buy you a drink? Milady!
Sorry, a drink.
That's the only way. That is it. And that's madly the only socially acceptable way that you can say
So you have to
the word.
really lean into it.
Yeah.
I guess...
What even was the other option? I've said I'm going for it anyway.
It
so.
was that any time someone mentions
I'm an atheist.
God,
I don't care about that.
but you brought up a romantic...
sorry, you think... You said I could build a comedy persona around saying milady,
Yeah.
which you could not. But you
could.
could feasibly, in some universe, build one around that.
What about... You've gone back to the romantic connotation, the romantic context. It's a well-known fact that, in moments of extreme situation, in extreme emotion, people cry out for the deity.
Yeah.
Now, each time someone, in ecstasy were to mention God Almighty, that is a full face-to-face screaming, I'm an atheist, from point-blank range. And you think that's going to work?
No, I don't think it's going to work. But what I know is that the percentage chance of that happening to the percentage chance of me being likely or required to say anything ever is so minuscule that it negates that problem.
But in a way, with the milady problem, you're upfront about your hang-up, which is, I have to say milady. Whereas this one, you could have led them on with, I'm a normal guy. And then all of a sudden you pull the rug away by screaming, I'm an atheist.
But I also could have said, look, I have this one thing. As long as you don't mention God...
You'd have said it then.
Fine. Yeah.
As long as I don't mention...
atheist!
You'd be in prison.
Right, but I'd be in prison even sooner if I'd gone, hi, milady.
No, you wouldn't. You'd just be a creep. You'd just be weird. Whereas screaming, I'm an atheist. What if you're in the cinema? You can't go and see any film.
That's fine.
You can't go to any swimming pools.
But wow, my two favourite things. But I could deal with those. I could deal with the smaller percentage chance. I could deal with saying, look, as long as you don't mention the name of any religious deity, I'm okay.
How are you explaining that to them?
But how are you explaining that you have to say milady after everything?
I'm saying we don't explain that one because it doesn't involve screaming at them.
But you're already a creep.
Yeah, no, I realise, but I think
that's
better
it.
to be...
What do you mean but? There's no but.
Better to be an
that
upfront creep than a malingering...
No, you're not. Because you don't.
face
No, because you don't have to be malingering. You can just say, look, this is an issue that I have.
This is me. If you can't handle me at my best,
yeah.
you can't.
But people are more likely to accept you for something that happens every now and then than every time you talk to someone. Because it's not just...
How about this,
because it's not just sexual. It's everything. Imagine having an argument. Imagine if you did get past all that. You managed to, form a relationship with someone, you managed to fuck, and they're happy with you being silent because they don't want to hear milady. But you're having an argument. And you're just so closed off with your feelings, milady.
Why'd you do it like Kenneth Williams?
But that's it.
milady.
But what are you going to say then?
Milady!
How are you so closed off with your feelings, my lady?
You've merged them. Okay, well, how about this alternative to the milady option? It's that you only have to do it once per person per day. So it's not every conversation or every sentence.
Obviously that one then.
Okay, then in that case, I'm upping it.
Because then I could disguise it once.
Yeah. How would you disguise it?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Under a cough, by looking over your shoulder, by looking into your phone, whatever.
Don't you think you become known for it?
Or you could easily just deny it the first time and then be like, look, this is the thing, it happens once a day. As long as you get that in before midnight and you say it the second time, you're all right.
Yeah, I guess so. So
that's easy.
Okay, fair enough. That's that one solved. I think we should maybe make an archive of them with our solutions to each one so that future generations know what
Can
the
look
right
back on the
answer to is.
objective, correct answers.
Yeah, and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously that's the best one.
Yeah, that
in this
sounds good.
situation.
Yeah, I'm on board.
I think as a bit of homework between now and next episode, you should think about how many times, like maybe just get a little notebook and keep track of how many times you'd have had to shout, "I'm an atheist," or "Say milady," respectively, just so we've got some hard data
some real evidence
on the whole thing.
I'll try and.
Yeah.
I won't. But I'll
Maybe-
at the very least make it up.
Yeah, do it for like 10 minutes and then extrapolate it to months and months worth of
okay,
research. Yeah. Look, we'd like to hear from your Would You Rathers. Send us an email at tass@shame.city with Would You Rather in the subject line, or WYR, or you can tweet them to us because they're good fun, I'd say. And, you can send anything else to tas@shame.city, tass, that is. Any
Or
feedback.
indeed, at That's a Shamecast on Twitter.
Absolutely. Where else can people find stuff about the show?
Well, they can find us individually on Twitter as well. At Isaac PD if you wish to contact Isaac.
Yeah.
At Cynical Declan if you wish to contact me.
Yeah.
You can get in touch via the website, shame.city/contact. Indeed, if you're sending us a Would You Rather, please put Would You Rather in the subject line so that Isaac can sort through them
Thanks.
to his heart's content.
Thanks in advance, my lady.
You could find us on Patreon if you have but spare dollars per month. Patreon.com/shamecity.
I'm an atheist.
And indeed, if you wish to find us on iTunes and give us a casual little review, casual little 5-star review,
Oh, yeah.
you can go to shame.city/review or indeed shame.city/reviews.
May as well. Only 2 more episodes with me in the country, and after that, that's it. I've moved.
That's gone.
I'm gone and I'm staying there.
He's never coming back.
It's a week and 2 days or something till I go, so that's very exciting. For me, that is.
Yeah.
Not for
Not
anyone
for
else,
us.
because
Not for us, not
it's
for
actually going to be a very sad time of morning, I imagine, for everyone else.
I'm going
Yeah.
to release some episodes just without you.
Oh, good luck logging into anything, pal.
So
or
I don't need
using
to. I'm just going to
audio
send it to
equipment.
them via the group chats we have without you.
Oh, that's very sad. Well, look, I've been Isaac. You've been.
I've been Declan.
See you next time, pal.
See you later.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you.